Member for Port Moody-Burquitlam.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Cascadia Innovation Corridor is the region between Vancouver, Seattle, Washington, and Portland, Oregon. We have a lot in common with our neighbours to the south. With our shared coastline, same time zone, natural beauty, common values, especially around climate and environment, and a thriving science, technology, and innovation sectors. By working together, we can create opportunity and economic prosperity in this combined region beyond what any of our cities could achieve independently. By working together in the Cascadia Innovation Corridor, we could become a global innovation hub, rivaling any other region in the world. The BC Business Council and Challenge Seattle have been leading efforts to nurture collaboration between business, academic, and government leaders through the Cascadia Innovation Corridor Steering Committee and holding yearly conferences to discuss common interests and opportunities. The Cascadia Data Alliance has created partnerships between UBC and the University of Washington and others around data science and cancer research, leading to many important projects. A collaboration between Harbour Air and Kenmore Air has created the first downtown Vancouver to downtown Seattle seaplane flights, called the Neighbours, often used by tech companies and other businesses and for tourism. These are just some examples of how we have been working together within our region. But as a region, we also face many common challenges, including a lack of affordable housing, traffic congestion, and a need to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. The Cascadia region is currently home to 9 million residents and is expected to grow by another 3 to 4 million by 2050. While at the same time, we recognize that the region needs to reduce its greenhouse gas emissions by 80% by 2050 in order to meet Paris Accord targets. We know that we can address these common problems and challenges by working together. Another promising initiative in the region is high-speed rail, connecting Vancouver to Seattle to Portland. In 2019, BC, Washington, Oregon, and Microsoft funded a business case study for high-speed rail, confirming its viability, showing that high-speed rail could actually result in an increase of approximately $500 million Canadian dollars in economic activity throughout the region and create 200,000 jobs. Travel time between Vancouver and Seattle would be reduced to less than 1 hour, which would have an incredibly positive impact on our struggling tourism sector. Reducing travel times would also create much stronger trade ties within the region, creating a stronger market for goods and more economic opportunity. High-speed rail is also electric, so it would reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 6 megatons in its first 4 decades of operations. In 2020, the next phase of planning for high-speed rail was completed, outlining options for establishing a long-term decision-making framework, including governance structures, potential financing strategies, and engagement plans. With the election of President Biden, building high-speed rail is certainly becoming more of a reality. There was much discussion about high-speed rail at the recent Cascadia Innovation Corridor conference last week. But the concept of high-speed rail is embedded in the overarching goal of creating the world's first truly sustainable megaregion, addressing housing affordability, congestion, and greenhouse gas reduction. The challenge with building affordable housing in urban cores is that any upzoning of existing housing in these areas may not actually reduce housing prices. As the properties themselves become increasingly scarce, they become increasingly expensive. However, with high-speed rail, it makes it viable to extend commuting distances from urban cores to areas where land is much less expensive not only extend the commuting distance, but to extend it while reducing carbon emissions. While high-speed rail hasn't been utilized very much in North America so far, it's been utilized in other countries around the world for quite some time. Japan started building high-speed rail in 1964 and now has over 2,600 kilometers of rail lines. Spain began in 1992 and has over 3,100 kilometers of high-speed rail lines. And China only started in 2007 and already has almost 10,000 kilometers of high-speed rail lines, and another 10,000 is under construction. In total, there are over 50,000 kilometers of high-speed rail track around the world, transporting over 3 billion passengers per year. Andy Coons, president of the U.S. High-Speed Rail Association, stated, "High-speed rail is something that is basic infrastructure, and it's the most efficient, smartest, best form of transportation ever invented, any way you measure it." And the timing may be right, because the recent passing of the Jobs Act, Investment Jobs Act in the U.S. dedicated $66 billion for rail. And the Build Back Better Act dedicates a further $10 billion for high-speed rail. Mr. Speaker, we know we're facing unprecedented immediate challenges, but we also know we are facing long-term challenges, and we have many opportunities to work together on the horizon. In my role as Premier's liaison to Washington State, I look forward to working with our neighbours to the south for the benefit of all British Columbians. Thank you.